Hi Milton and Eunice, it's Carol. I just wanted to make you a video real quick and show you a couple of these different things that I found on my Ancestry page that you might find interesting, and then also a little bit of the connection on how I would have contacted you outside of Ancestry.com. This whole topic is relatively uncomfortable. But one of the things that I wanted to apologize for is when this entire thing got started, the message that I originally sent you from Ancestry, it never entered my mind that somebody would not know, that there was a child, because my adoptive parents had told me that the father signed the adoption papers, so that, it didn't really mesh in my mind. But after hearing your story, then I understand where you're coming from, and I'm also well aware of the fact what an uncomfortable situation this is, and also what a shock it is. So I decided to just do this for you like this, so you can watch it whenever you want, and the two of you can talk about it. And if you would like to have any other contact and work on anything, then we can do that as well. So hopefully this will come across clearly to you, and I'm happy to answer any questions. So let me try to show you how what my Ancestry page looks like. So what you're looking at right now is my Ancestry page, and I'm logged in. So you're going to see that it has my name right over here, and it goes in and it talks about all these different things. It does a million and one things, but I'm not really too worried about some of the other stuff it does. So for me, if I go into DNA and I choose DNA matches, I don't even know what all this other stuff is, but if I choose DNA matches, from the very first time that it came back, this is how it comes back for me. And so you can see very quickly that it says parent-child relationship, Milton Thompson, and then it goes on down and it lists possible first and second cousins, and then it kind of goes on to say second cousin, etc., etc. What you'll also notice is as you go down, because the system identified a father for me, then it also goes down and it identifies which of these family members would be on my father's side. I mean, obviously by process of elimination, I can figure out that these other people are most likely on the mother's side and that kind of thing. So it goes down, and it goes way, 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 way down into, I think it goes all the way down to 6 cousins or something like that. And you can see very quickly that if it has a blue dot, then that means that I didn't even click on it, because not to say that those people are not important, but I'm not really sure that's what I need to be doing right now. So when I first opened this up, and obviously it has a name right here, one of the things that I had a question about was that it talks about the shared DNA. So on the shared DNA, the CM stands for centimorgans. So when you click on this, it brings you to kind of an explanation page, and it talks about how they do their matches and how they do some different things like that. Explains a little bit about DNA. I am far from any kind of DNA expert, but when you go down the page just a little bit, this was something that stood out to me. Obviously, getting into this as an adopted child, it's not something that I was really shocked when Ancestry came back and it identified a father, or a mother. Like, that would have been very shocking probably to anybody. So when it talks about shared centimorgans, what this is saying is that 100% of the people that have that number, 3,458 centimorgans, that their relationship is a parent-child. So that's one of the things that stood out to me a little bit, obviously as a little bit shocking. And then what I also thought was very interesting is when I select the name Milton Thompson, and it comes over here and it talks about your family trees. It also goes into ethnicity. I mean, that's kind of interesting, but that wasn't, too much of a shocker for me or anything like that. But then there also is this other category called shared matches. So the shared matches are going to be shared matches between myself and Milton Thompson. So when it comes in here, I thought this was kind of interesting. So the shared matches between myself and the Milton Thompson that Ancestry is referring to, it's going to show that there is a Lori Norden, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Obviously, you can see that this other person used a screen name. I have no idea who they are. And what it goes into is when you select first and second cousin or second and third, it basically goes in and explains it doesn't necessarily mean that they're your cousin because it's obviously just this DNA thing. So it goes in and it talks about all the other possible matches that it could be. So let's go in and take a look at this Lori Norden and let's see what it describes. So between myself and Milton Thompson, we shared 3,435 centimorgans, and it said 100% was a parent-child relationship. So let's go in and take a look at what it has for Lori. So it explains kind of the same thing again. You can see that she and I share 435 centimorgans. Again, I'm no DNA expert, so I'm not exactly sure what that is. And then this is kind of an interesting thing. So what it really is it's basically a math problem. So the math problem is just going to tell us that 89% of people that share 435 centimorgans are possibly these. So first cousin once removed, half first cousin. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I learned all of that stuff growing up. I'm not hyper concerned about that. I am not concerned about reaching out to Lori or anything like that. But, you know, it is kind of an interesting sort of thing. So sort of an interesting thing as it goes down through here. And I believe that you mentioned on the phone the first day that she is your relation. So when it gets down to the connection and why, when you're just given a name, Milton Thompson, and why would I have contacted you or anything like that, let me show you one more thing before I show you this. So inside of Ancestry, there is this blind message service. And what I mean by that is when you click on that, you can send messages to different people that you're connected with. So for example, hopefully this will load in for us. Okay, so you can put in the name or the username. And so I messaged a couple of these different people, and you know, you can just use their name there. So let me see. Oops, I don't have that plugged in. Okay, so when you start to type it in, then it filters names in like that. But what I just wanted to show you is that when I sent a message and then you verified that you received it, I have no way of knowing what these people's email addresses are. I don't have access to that or anything like that. And another quick example over here where this says Rabbit59, that obviously is somebody that used a screen name. So she got back in touch with me. Her name is actually Susan, and then she is a cousin on my mother's side. So that's kind of how that worked, and I wanted to show you how that blind messenger service works that I had, you know, no idea what your email would have been. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is obviously a lot of this information out here is public. So I sent the Ancestry message, and I'm well aware that not everybody checks Ancestry, but it routes to your personal email. But I'm also aware, because I do the same thing, that I don't really always check my personal email that much because, you know, it's a lot of junk mail that comes into that. So the last thing that I did, and the reason why I would have reached out and contacted you at your work email, which I am sorry for that because I understand that's kind of odd as well. This is the very last thing I did. So in the matches, when I selected Milton Thompson, and then I did shared matches between myself and Milton Thompson, it says that this Lori Nordan was a first or second cousin, which we know in Ancestry can be a couple different things. So I just quickly went over to Facebook and I searched her name. I don't even know in this picture, necessarily which person she is, but I just searched the name, and then a lot of people have their Facebook profiles open. So when you go to friends, all of her friends are open. And then I just did a quick search for your name, because if somebody is a cousin, then maybe there's a chance they're friends on Facebook, and then that's where I would have seen that, and then that is kind of what gave me the notion that maybe you were the right Milton Thompson. So that is the information that I have to share. I wanted you to hear it from me. I wanted you to see it. And then what I just want to leave you with is, let me just make this full screen again. What I really just wanted to leave you with is, I don't even know what I think about this either. I definitely, when I set out to try to figure out who my birth parents were, my most basic thing that I always said was that I was hoping to find out health information, because that so many things have changed, since the 70s. So that was my original idea. I'm not really sure if I have any other questions. I think it's interesting. I also, I don't really know what else to say. Maybe after you take a look at this video, you'll have an idea how it works, and maybe you'll figure out which way you feel, if you feel like you believe this science or you don't believe it, or whatever the case is. But I just really wanted you to hear from me that I don't need anything. I'm not looking for anything. If there is some type of a connection that we have, I think that would be really interesting. But I'm not trying to infiltrate your life or anything like that. We've got a lot going on over here for ourselves. My husband and I have been married for 21 years, and our daughter is a junior in college at the University of South Carolina. This is my little school office while we're teaching from home this year. So this is her bedroom that is remotely clean because she's gone to college. And our son is 16, and he is a junior at the same high school where I teach. So I'm very involved in the community and different things like that. So I hope that after you see this video, you can decide how you feel about, this entire situation. Probably what would be most interesting to me would be just different things, like if I am similar to any sisters that you have, or I don't know, like any traits that we might share. But I'm definitely not a person that is looking to cause any problems or any waves, but I do understand that this is an uncomfortable situation. So I think that's all I have for tonight. I wish you all the best, and I hope that we can keep in touch. And I think I'm probably just as, confused as you might be feeling. So take care and God bless you, and contact me if you have any questions. Have a good day.